Hey guys, welcome back. We're here to finish the train body today. This is in Autodesk Inventor Professional 2018. If you're using Fusion 360 or you're using Onshape, please close this video out and go to the proper video. If not, this is where we're at today. We need to put the axle holes in. We need to put the smokestack hole in the top of the body. And we're going to need to put a round edge of a radius of 0.01 on all of the sharp edges. So, first thing we're going to do is come on back, close out my home, and I'm going to open my train body to where I left off on Monday. I'm running a little bit of latency in Inventor today. I was doing some other things for a friend and was running a little bit slow. I've closed out all my other operations, so hopefully it'll be a little quicker this time. That wasn't too bad. Okay, so before we can put this hole for the smokestack in the top of this radius, we got to talk about putting planes on curved surfaces, because you can't sketch on a curved surface. You got to do sketch on a flat plane. So in order to do that, this is a whole lot easier to do in Inventor than it is in Onshape and Fusion, in my honest opinion. But we come up here to the tool ribbon and we click on plane. Now I want it to be on this surface here, and I want it to be, let me zoom in a little bit so it's easier for you to see. I want it to be right here on the apex, right on the top center point, tangent to the arc of that curve. So I click there, and that little yellow square is what's telling me, hey, you got a plane here. So I want to start a 2D sketch. I got to click on the edge of that little work plane. Understanding that a work plane goes on forever, though. A plane is a flat surface with no ending boundaries, okay? But they got to show you some so you can click on them. So once I do that, looking at my dimensions here, it's telling me that I have a diameter hole, this leader line, showing me that I have a 0.50 or half-inch diameter hole, and this T with the arrow on it says that it's 0.25 inches deep. It's in the center, and it's 0.88 inches from the rear. So I'm going to go ahead, click on my center point circle, and type that diameter to be 0.5. I'm going to get my dimension tool up here in the tool ribbon. Click on the center. Click on the front. And set that to be 0.88. Now I'm not sure if it clicked on a geometric constraint or not, so I'm going to set the dimension on the edge of that, and I'm going to come out here to the side and click on it. And I know that that's that the whole width is 2 inches. And when I click on that, it tells me that it is currently at 1.006. So it is not in the center. So I need to change that to 1. Okay? I'm going to click Finish Sketch on that. And I'm going to go ahead and extrude that. And I'm going to come over here to the center of the extrude window and choose cut. And then I'm going to set the distance to be 0.25. Now I don't want to look at that yellow square, that's annoying as heck. So I'm coming over here into the browser on the left hand side here where it says work plane. I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to come down and turn the visibility off. You can see it's still there, but I don't have to look at it that way at least. Okay. So, next thing I'm going to have to do is put these two axle holes in here. So they're telling me if I follow the center lines out here that they're both 1/2 inch from the bottom. And this one is 1 inch from the back and 4.5 inches from the back to the front one. Well, it's 5.5 inches long, so it's 1 inch from the front and 1 inch from the back. I'm looking at this leader line though, and it's telling me this is 1/4-20 UNC through times 2. What that means is that the diameter of this hole is 1/4 inch. There's 20 threads per inch. It's unified national course threads. They go all the way through, and the times 2, that means that there's 2 holes. 1, 2, times 2. This is the hole, 1/4-20 UNC. Goes all the way through, and there's 2 of them. So I'm going to create a sketch on the side of this. And then I'm going to use a center point circle and draw 2.25 circles. .25. And I'm going to grab my dimension tool, set the center to the bottom to be 0.5 on both of them. One inch from the rear to the center point of the circle. And then 1 inch from the center point to the front of the body on that circle. Okay, and then I'm going to finish that sketch. Extrude that hole. I'm going to click both of those. And I'm going to choose to cut again. And for the extents, rather than a distance, I'm going to go through all. Click OK. Now, next thing I want to do is add threads to these holes so that they will accept a bolt or a threaded fastener. Up here in the tool ribbon is the thread tool. I click on that. Okay. And I'm locked up. Hitting the escape key is not getting me out. Okay, my inventor locked up on me. Again, I'm back now. Up here in my tool ribbon, I'm going to click on thread. The thread window opens up. The face that the thread is going on is highlighted in blue. Oh, see? Any curved surface you can put a thread on. I don't want it in there or there. What I'm looking for is in these holes. Here's the one. Come over here to specifications. I'm going from location to specification. Choosing the size, 0.25. Designation that fits a 0.25 hole is a quarter 20 UNC. I want it to be a right-hand thread. It doesn't matter whether it's 2B, 3B, or 1B for fitting. I'll click OK. Come back to location, face, do the other hole, apply, and close that out. Now, if I zoom in, you can see that it appears to have a threaded finish in it. Okay, the next thing I've got to do is put these 3 holes in the front surface for the cow catcher. The cow catcher is going to mount with 3 pins. This leader here shows us that the holes are 0.125 diameter, and the T with the arrow tells us that the depth is 0.125 also. 0.125, half a 0.25, 0.25 is a quarter, so that's 1/8. It says that the center one is in the center. And if I follow the line out, it says that it's 0.625 inch from the bottom, which is 5/8. And that both of these other ones are 0.125 from the bottom. And they are both 0.375 from the outside edge. So I'm going to go to the tool ribbon, click on Start 2D Sketch, click on the front, go to my center point circle, create 3 0.125 inch circles. Next thing I'm going to do is dimension them. This top one needs to be in the center, so it's got to be 1 inch from an outside edge. And it needs to be 0.625 or 5/8 of an inch, 0.625 from the bottom. This needs to be 3/8 from the outside edge, or 0.375, and 1/8 from the bottom. 1/8 or 0.125, same thing. Same thing with this one. 1/8 inch. .375 or 3/8. And those are in place. So we go ahead and finish that sketch. Now, I want to extrude all 3 of these circles. But I want to come over and cut them 0.125 distance. Click OK. And then I have my 3 holes for my cow catcher. The only thing that we have left to finish on this body is to round these edges, and they're not showing them to be round in the picture. Let me see if I can find a picture where they are. Just bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Now they're showing the edges to be all rounded. Okay. So they're telling me that they need to have a radius of 0.1. So what we're going to do is come back and use this fillet tool. When the fillet window opens up, we're going to make sure that we're going to change this radius from whatever it says to 0.1. And we're going to select the mode to click edges. And then we're going to go around and round all these edges. The only thing I'm not going to round is the bottom. I want to leave that flat. So I'm clicking on all of these edges. And let me rotate this a little. So this fillet tool is taking that sharp edge and it's rounding it off. I can change how big or how small that rounded edge is. But at 0.01, let's take a look around here. Seems to be a nice radius appearance-wise. I'll click apply. Now, I also want to show you at this particular point in time. Okay, that knocked the outside edge off, but you can also do an inside fillet to make two edges rounder for an inside radius. So the fillet can work in the opposite direction as well. And that relieves the stress from fracturing on parts for strength purposes as well. Awesome. This video goes a lot faster with Inventor than it does with Fusion and Onshape. Alright, and that ends our part for the week. The body, train body, is completely finished now. Come up, click Save, close it out, and then we're done. The only other thing is I need you to finish the conclusion questions and put any of the essential questions and concepts in your engineering notebook. And then that's it for the week. Friday, you'll have Flex Friday. And that's it, guys. Hope you have a great week.